How is all this going to be impacting our Indian markets? We have a team of research here to set you up for trade, tell you which are the important stocks to watch out for, as well as the cues in the world of F&O. First up, we'll go across to Vivek, who's waiting by to tell us what are we watching out for today, given that it's expiry day today. What are the cues coming in, Vivek? Good morning.
Well, good morning. This Thursday, it's expiry day as well. Like you rightly mentioned, kind of cues that we are working with are slightly muted, given the kind of sell-off that you've been highlighting since the start of the show as far as the US markets are concerned. The spike in treasury yields and the low demand over there is something that equity markets got quite spooked by. Now, coming to the oil markets, oil markets too fell. In fact, Brent yesterday was down a little over 0.5%, now hovering around the $65 a barrel mark. Now, coming to Indian markets, remember day before yesterday, especially in the last hour and a half of the trading session, saw significant selling pressure. But yesterday, the markets managed to recoup most of the losses that they saw in yesterday's, day before yesterday's trading session. And in fact, all of the indices managed to trade with strong gains and managed to end the day with strong gains, which was also quite important. Now, when you're looking at the advanced decline ratio, was firmly in favor of the bulls or in favor of the gainers, and that is something that the market as well as the bulls will take quite a lot of heart from. What recovered and what did well? Well, the entire pharma pack, defense stocks, railway stocks, and also capital goods, especially some of the capital goods names like Siemens, Cummins, were among the top gainers in yesterday's trading session. Whole host of results reactions coming by: ONGC, Colgate, Vatek, Wabag, some of the names that will react to results today. GIFT Nifty, Asian markets all indicating a muted start for our markets today.
Well, thank you so much for that, Vivek. Now over to Upasana, who will list out the stocks to watch out for in today's trading session. Good morning, Upasana.
Good morning, Vamakshi. First up, let me start with IndusInd Bank. The company has reported a weak quarter this time around. The net losses stand as high as 2,328 crore versus a profit of 2,349 crore. When we talk about NII, it is down about 43%, and asset quality has also worsened from 2.25% to 3.3% in terms of the GNPA ratio of the bank. Now, coming to Mankind Pharma, the revenue growth was largely in line, led by domestic and export market. Revenue up 27%, margins stood at 22% versus 24% on a YoY basis. Interglobe Aviation is the another stock on our counter. The profits were mainly aided by the operational performance of the company. Net profit up 62% and revenue up 24% on a YoY basis. Colgate will also be in focus as the profit is down 6.5%, revenue down about 2%. Weak set of numbers, certainly. Margin at 34% versus 35.7% on a YoY basis. Now, Nalco will also be in focus as companies perform solid performance from both the segments, that is alumina and aluminium. The revenue saw a sharp growth of 47% on a YoY basis. Even PAT saw a growth of 47% at 1,470 crore. ONGC will also be in focus. The company has reported higher revenue as compared to the poll, and the higher exploratory cost boosted the earnings of the company. Now, profit was down 22% sequentially and revenue was up 4% sequentially. RVNL will also be in focus. The net profit was down 4%, but revenue was also down about 4.3%. Margins stand stable at 6.7% with a downtick of just about 10 basis points on a YoY basis. NBCC will also be in focus on the back of the order win. The company bags order worth 162 crore from Power Finance Corp. And lastly, Hindustan Zinc will also be in focus as the company gets an LOI for a block in Andhra Pradesh. So all in all, these are the stocks that we'll be watching out for today.
Okay, thank you so much for that, Upasana. Keep an eye out on all the stocks. But what is going to be happening in the world of F&O, I beg your pardon. Mangalam is here to give us those details. Good morning, Mangalam.
Good morning. So, yesterday was moved towards equilibrium for the market. Why do I say that? Because previous Thursday, the big up move that we saw, and, 2 days ago, the big down move that we saw in the last hour of trade were both on the extreme side. The range for the Nifty is 24,600 to 25,000 itself, and that exactly what played out yesterday as well. We came back to moderate zones for our market. The high and the low on the Nifty yesterday tells you the broad range that the street should be working with. The good part, the FIs came back to buying after 10,000 crores of selling in the previous trading session. 2,200 crore worth cash purchase. The DIIs topped it up with another 700 crores as well. In index futures, there was a mild purchase by the FIs, 201 crores. They added about 500 long contracts, covered 600 short contracts. And as a result of which, their long exposure over the last couple of trading sessions stays steady at 37%, though the net contracts have come down on the short side by about 1,000 contracts at 37,500. The put-call ratio, which was again at an extreme of 0.69, has now moderated back again to 0.81, and that brings us to the important levels that we are watching out for today. 24,900 call shed some open interest, and we saw 24,800 put shed some open interest as well, or add some contracts. So the broad range that the option writers are positioned for today in terms of expiry would be 24,700 to 2550 on the Nifty. For the Nifty Bank, it is the 20-day moving average which moves as an important fulcrum as a support. The stocks that I'm watching out for, Titagarh, we had spoken about it entering FNO ban at midday yesterday, and that has happened. It's re-entered FNO ban after exiting it yesterday itself. And then a bunch of stocks which will be excluded from FNO trading come August series include the likes of Aarti Industries, Hindustan Copper, which has been in the ban for a very long time, Birlasoft, MGL and Piramal Enterprises. These are stocks that come out of FNO trading from August series 2025.
Well, thank you so much for that, Mangalam.